starting to snow again. Wouldn't you know it? Hey Campers, George here. Got home from work last night and playing with my new toy, Cold Steel Trail Boss, and reading up again on safety and things like that and taking care of it and all that good stuff. Not a young'un anymore, and I'm just not as agile as I was before. I'm kind of a pest to myself when it comes to sharp objects. After all, I am years old. So anyway, there was a package waiting for me. Opened it up. It contained these two guys. What I had been reading up on was how to take care of my axe, things I should be doing to it, some accessories that are always handy to have. And what I needed was something to protect me from the axe and something to protect the axe from me. Obviously, to protect myself, I needed to have a cover on the blade. You know, this bit here, and it's kind of sharp, and like I told you before, it came with this little rubber guard, which didn't last very long. You can see it cut right through it. The axe is pretty sharp, and it came sharp as well. Went online and had a look, and had quite a time trying to find something to fit the Trailbox axe. It was really difficult to find, but I did come across one. Squeeze the Wallet, and HELKO, these guys here, have a premium leather guard that goes on the front, and this is it here. Put it on and show you it later. You probably saw it in the pictures before the video started. And the other thing I got was from them again, the axe handle guard, and that's this guy. The bit gets covered by a leather strap, comes around and covers it, and that's going to protect me from cutting myself. Last time out, when I was chopping with this, I was walking back to the cottage with it, and I had it by my side, and it happened to just catch my snow pants. Slid a hole in them right away. Not impressed. But it's not too bad, I can fix it. Duct tape will fix anything. Got me thinking that, you know, a little bit further in, it would have cut me. This happened. You can see here, I was walking with the axe and it nicked my pant. If I'd had the sheath on there, that wouldn't have happened. They have a wide range of axes, hatchets, and they make a lot of leather products, accessories for those axes and hatchets. Having looked very carefully to make sure that the sizes actually match, and I got the closest I could to it, I bought these guys. So I'm going to put them on, show you how they look, how they work, and any modifications I make to them. So let's have a look at these things and see if they're going to help me save myself and my axe. There's a couple of other things I want to just cover about the axe handle and taking care of your axe. So a new guide to add, I'll put some links below to some really good channels on axes and hatchets. Wranglerstar. It's covered just about everything you can think of, axes and hatchets. So to protect me from the axe, I got the premium leather axe sheath from HELKO. They come in a couple of different sizes, and what you have to do is you actually have to measure the bit of the axe from the top to the bottom, the actual cutting edge, see how long it is, and then match up to it. They didn't have an exact match. I originally thought about getting the medium, and I saw some of the reviews and they said you have to stretch the leather and that sort of thing, but it fits really nice and snug. I don't want to have to do that, so I decided to get the large one. I'll put the specs up on the size and that sort of. Made from saddle leather. Comes in this packet. They have some information here, and of course they have this big thing and it says please read. This is a handmade product, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. The nice thing I liked was, although it doesn't talk about other axes, they give you some information on the back here, which is really good. They cover important notice to the purchaser. They give you a description of the axes and so that you know what they're talking about and everything like that. And then they talk about the edge, the handle, the head, storage and sheath, rust protection, and proper technique of using the axe. They send you the brochure from HELKO WERK in Germany. Vegetable tanned, and you can see it here. You can see how that looks there. It's very nice, thick, strong, heavy-duty leather with a nice strong buckle on it. They do have their label on it. You can see it there. A bit of the axe actually fits in there, just like that. And you can see how it sits there. And then obviously the strap comes around. You would buckle it on and it'll hold it in place. Initially I didn't pull it really tight and it kind of moved around on the axe like that. I didn't want that, and I found that just by giving it a good hard tug to one more hole down the line, it holds it on really nice and snug. And nice and simple, just one buckle release. That's how it would sit on your axe. That'll protect me, hopefully. I originally looked at the medium, and then I decided to go with the large. What I did was I measured the length of the bit, which is 4.5 inches. Looking at all the measurements and everything that we're talking about, this one here is actually made for a 5.5 inch. And the medium is a little bit too close for me, like I said, so I decided to go with this, and it seems to work just fine. It's treated for moisture protection, and you don't want it to soak up any rain or anything like that. In Minnesota, there's a lot of snow. You're going to be putting it down. It's going to get snow on it. You want to protect your blade. Handmade in the USA. After looking at the videos and that, so you need to really protect the handle of your axe. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And like I said, with me, my agility and precision, not what it should be, simply age, the horror. So what I did was I got the leather handle guard. The guard goes right here, and you'll see in the video, and the reason for that is that sometimes you can misjudge. And what you're going to do is you're going to miss the piece of wood you're chopping on, probably hit the handle. And these are really nice handles, and they're very strong, and you want to keep your tools as in good condition as possible. So protecting them is a good thing, especially for me. I'm a terror on anything. But sometimes it gets away from me and I'll do something stupid, and I don't want to break this or damage it. I want to keep it as in good condition as possible. Putting this on here is going to save my handle. If I should miss and hit the handle, it's going to save it for some major damage and hopefully absorb some of the shock of when it hits the handle, and not break the handle or chip it or make marks on it and that. You want to keep it nice and good. Just like any tool you have, you want it to last as long as possible. The handle guard came in the same sort of package, and you can see it there. And the leather, vegetable tan, saddle leather, just like the other stuff. You can see it there, it comes there like that. And it has obviously the logo stamped into it. And it came with some leather, what I want to call rope string, a stretch of leather. Obviously this is what you would put around the handle like this, and then use the leather to strap it on. Same thing, you have to have a look at the measurements and things like that, because they do have different sizes. This was the closest I could get. It seems a little long, but I don't think it's going to be a problem, as long as it doesn't slip and slide and slide down and things like that. As long as it stays on there to protect the handle from being hit, I'm good with it. As with any leather product, you're going to have to protect it over time. The weathering and things like that, it'll start to dry out and crack. So I'm going to need to look after the leather as well. And speaking of that, let's talk about the axe and some things that I need to do to that. Watching all the videos and reading up on axes, the first thing I did notice was most people are concerned about the handle. They talk about the description, how to know a good handle, and I'll put a link to my video, the original video on this Trail Boss. This is a hickory handle, very sturdy, strong, very popular for any axes. The problem is that it comes from the manufacturer with, I'm going to say, a varnish on it. And that's pretty typical with just about every manufacturer. There's a couple that don't, but most of them will come with it. Problem for me is that it's a kind of a little slippery for me, especially with gloves. To get rid of that varnish coating or whatever it is they put on, scrape it off, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. You need to scrape it off, and then you're going to get some linseed oil, preferably boiled linseed oil. I do learn things even at my age. Scrape it all off and then get some linseed oil on there. There is a process, and it'll take a couple of days because you have to put a couple of coats in until you have it nice and soaked up with some linseed oil. It will protect the axe handle, and it'll keep it nice and hopefully for a long time. So that's the next thing I have to do, is that clean up this handle and get that stuff on, get some linseed on there as well. Pretty sure I'll have a video on that. I'll keep it short and simple. So there you go, campers. Those are the accessories I decided I needed right away for my trail boss. Hopefully it'll protect me and the axe from me. I try to get the best that I can for what I can afford, and then you have to learn to look after it. Well, just as I decide to go outside and do this filming, it's starting to snow again. Wouldn't you know it? Some deer tracks around here. You can see them going back there. They come around every night. So what I want to show you here is I want to show you what I'm talking about, the protection of the axe handle. So before I do that, I just want to show you, I have the sheath on, which covers the bit of the axe. And the way I have it set up right now is I can just take this off and it comes right off. Nice and easy. Put it in your pocket so you don't lose it. And let me get a piece of wood for you. So whenever you're chopping, I like to, on the smaller pieces of wood, I like to be kneeling down. It's a little bit safer. If I miss, this is going to hit you. If I miss, it'll go into the dirt. Don't do that with your axe and throw it in the dirt like that. So when you're chopping, you should put the piece of wood a little bit further forward. You don't want it over here in case you miss. You want to chop away from yourself. If you miss, you're going to go in here. Now the problem that I'm talking about is I'm going to chop this piece of wood. Okay, no problem there. I have the piece of wood here and I'm standing and chopping and I misjudge it. And what happens is you miss everything and your axe is going to come down and hit right there, right on the handle. So that's what this leather is for, and that'll protect the handle. So legs apart, bent over, slightly bent, and you want your axe there, and I'm going to chop this guy. There you can see how it works and how it protects your handle so that it doesn't get damaged if you miss. And like I said, with me, my agility isn't what it used to be. Just some safety tips on when you're using your axe. I have this base here, and I kneel in front of it. The wood I'm chopping is not that big. It's not like a big log, and I have to stand and do it. And what that does is it allows me to work on it like this. If I miss, it's going to go in the dirt first and not hit me. So keep that in mind. Try and raise the platform that you're working on. Want wood with, some wood underneath. If you, in the cottage here, I have this, which is nice. I can put the wood in here and work on it. If I miss the wood or when I cut through, it just goes into more wood. When you're out in the bush and you're out, camping, whatever, and you're chopping wood, always make sure the wood that you're using is on a good wood base, so that if you miss, it doesn't go into the dirt and mess up your blade. You mess up the bit because there's rocks or something in the dirt. When you're finished working with your axe, you want to clean it up and re-oil the head again and make sure there's no rust or anything. Sharpen it, make sure it's good and sharp, so that next time you need it, you don't have to sharpen it first before needing it. It's ready right away. But when you do that, you want to look for rust or anything like that. This type of steel is very susceptible to rust, so keep that in mind. You can get different oils, keep it from rusting and maintain your steel. Anyway, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. And I'm pretty sure I'll be back with some more stuff about an axe, so that if you do own an axe, it doesn't have to be a trail boss. With a little bit of research, some measurements and things like that, you can get the right stuff to protect you and the axe. Just say. Thanks for watching.